that decisive, and that's because the most important members are squishy ones, which means that these fights aren't really going to be determined even leading up to them. It's all going to be about the base positioning, the side lanes, as I believe our producer is ready to get back into it.
Yes. Yeah, apologies everybody about that short delay, but we are now back into the game. Very, very tensely poised, very, very close margins at this stage. Of course, this series does have pretty big implications in terms of playoff seeding. Top 4, I believe, go to playoffs as Incisor might be forced to go back to base after that trade from MyQ will miss, who has built themselves pretty sizable advantage here in the top lane. But Xantroid, after clearing that red buff, might have designs on this Volibear. Gank Daddy is in the area, but they seem preoccupied with the Rift Herald. And that means the Volibear is a little bit caught out. He's able to dive down under the tower. But the ultimate from Incisor means that they're just able to get away. Beautifully played by the top laner from FireFlies.
And that is what you need to see on this Camille, getting some kind of counter-attack right there. Beautifully layered to actually wait out the timer from the Volibear ult disable onto that tower means that they were able to basically get the solo kill right there. Xandroid with the pillar does come in for the save at the very end and the ultimate invested, so it is not all for naught, but with all of those aggressive tools used by MyQ will miss. I feel like I've said this 100 times over this series, but it's another lane that can be ganked, and the reason that I have to keep saying it is because Trundle and Jarvan are so dependent on getting good gank windows, and it was how we saw Gank Daddy just dominate the last game. They constantly found these windows on side lanes, and that was realistically what put them in the winning position.
We do see MyQ will miss. Has teleported back up to the top side, will be matched by Incisor, so Drake spawning in 40 seconds time. We're not going to be seeing top laners around the fight. Good top binding landing onto Viking, who actually uses a fair bit of HP. That's the combo, the Camille Trundle interaction with the hookshot wall dive. As MyQ will miss, does land the stun underneath the tower and pulls the Sky Splitter down. They're not going to be walking in for the 1v2 there. He's going to be forced to base again. This is going from bad to worse for the Volibear.
Significant play, but I felt like there was a bit of a disjoint.
Oh, that's a wonderful feather spike from Detect, but all importantly, doesn't get the snare from any of the feathers, and Viking is able to pick up the kill, and they're going to be getting a second one. It's deja vu all over again in the bot lane, as Jinx is sat at 4-0.
That was ever so close to going beautifully, but it backfires horrifically. The one silver lining here, though, is Viking. They are currently low HP, and there's a Fizz who has got tunnel vision for them right here. You can see Paragon just walking into a Brom and just trying to get to that Jinx. It's such a juicy target.
Yeah, Paragon might be looking pretty juicy himself here, as Fish is on the menu. Helicon walking forward, but Xandroid just able to dissuade that aggression. Overlord a little bit caught now, but can stand behind his teammates and get himself away. So 13 minutes into the game, 1.5k gold advantage for Paragon 6. A couple of Drakes can be working towards that Infernal Soul in a few minutes' time. I think I'm pretty happy with where they are right now, if I was a fan of P6.
They are in a winning position, but this is similar to the first game with regards to just how the map is currently playing out. The only difference is Viking has actually gone for the Immortal Shield Bow on the Jinx. I really like this when you know you are target number one. There is a bullseye on your back for this Camille and the Fizz later on that they are trying to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, and I mean, that shield could be absolutely massive. You don't even need the Wit's End for it to be valuable. We see Parademon going towards the top side, but gets stunned up. The Ignite dropped onto the Volibear, but he's just going down into the Death Chamber as Parademon picks up their second kill of the game.
Very big Ignite value right there. Imagine to actually get the kill before there was any chance of a counterattack. We've seen it multiple times. MyQ Miss has been very scary to gank so far this game, just because of the insane damage they've been able to pump out. As it means now, though, Incisor will be the beneficiary of this, going to be able to push into their top lane. Still no turrets dead yet, most importantly, on the map. That is a lot of standing gold that is available for the first tower.
Yeah, it was Paragon 6 might be looking to get it in the bot lane as Gank Daddy is making an appearance in that tri-brush, but Protect and Makuti feel like something is up. But with this freeze being generated, you're baiting them in forcing the enemy AD carry to step up. Gank Daddy could be looking for that window. They're going here, the flash pull, beautiful black shield, but it's not enough when you're stuck in the Cataclysm. Overlord Gaming picks up that kill, and Makuti's going to be forced to walk back under the tower. That's why you pick the Jarvan.
Isn't able to escape, even with the black shield to get them the great space they needed. There's just nothing you can do as the Xayah. Once you're in the Cataclysm, you're in it. You can't fly over that one, little bird. And now that may just be the canary that signals the end for FireFlies, because this looks like Viking is going to be able to walk up and pressure this turret even more. There's not much that can be really done in the counter from FireFlies.
Yeah, Detect definitely getting their wings clipped, and as we get further into the game, they're not going to be able to step in range of Viking, because with those rockets, you just can't match the Jinx. The DPS is going to be absolutely unreal, even with this Immortal Shield Bow purchase. Do see Incisor now in the top lane, has gone for the Trinity Force, so a little bit more damage, and I feel like they could split push a lot quicker with this item.
And we are in a game state right here where you need to be winning off of side lanes. The Fizz and the Camille are what are going to make the difference. It doesn't matter how far behind Xayah is, they could still wave clear just fine on the mid lane. It just means you can't really get that extra window to make plays.
Gank Daddy looking to make plays in the top lane, but Incisor can just dash away. Flashes back. The Cataclysm wasn't available for Gank Daddy, but Incisor didn't know that, so takes the safe route out. Gank Daddy might be looking for a repeat here, though. Ultimate is available as the Jarvan goes in. The Volibear goes down under the tower, which isn't doing any damage right now. But Incisor's been able to cut this one out fairly long. Not long enough, though, as Gank Daddy will pick up the kill and flashes back. Tower looks like it's going to be going down, but maybe it'll be My Q will miss instead as Parademon is in the area. That's going to be the knock-up landing for a Gank Daddy as the fish goes wide. The Parademon goes golden, but they're going down as Gank Daddy gets another kill. Xantroid now forced to run back after using the ultimate, and it's a very strong response from Paragon 6, who are looking to pick up the tower.
And this should be able to go down, or at very least be the pressure on the map that allow them to collect this Rift Herald after. Nicely done, managing to flash away right there and escape from Parademon, who is realistically one of the scariest forces on the map right here for FireFlies.
Will return TP as Incisors making their way back into the top lane. I think they might be going for a chase, judging by the mini-map, but Gank Daddy's in the area as well. That's a beautiful scatter the weak from Helicon as My Q will miss, doesn't go down, and Incisor, no flash, no ultimate, no hope, as Helicon is on a killing spree on this Syndra.
On the LeBlanc, it was not a good performance, but once you get him on the control mages, Helicon has been really difficult to deal with. Paragon 6 have had this sturdy mid laner since they got on the Orianna and now the Syndra, and it is just so annoying for FireFlies to answer, because when you have a good control mage player, it can just shut down a lot of your attempts at aggression, and when you are behind, attempted aggression is the name of the game.
Absolutely. Infernal Drake is on the rift as Parademon is trying to make their way down. FireFlies thinking about contesting this one. You do not want to be giving Soul Point over to Paragon 6, especially not this early into the game. But in terms of raw power, it just feels like you're a little bit lower. Still no mythic completed on Detect. And the Ghoul Drinker already picked up for Gank Daddy, who's looking huge. The TP is coming in on the backside. The Chompers go down, but don't take anyone with them as Detect is able to flash away from the Cataclysm, but Parademon is a little bit caught on the other side. Uses the Blast Cone to get away. No one goes down, but this is Drake right for the picking for Paragon 6.
Nothing they can do on the contrary now. It's just going to be Incisor trying to get this turret on the top lane. Would be First Blood Tower if they can make it over there, but looking at the map right here, My Q Miss is already running their way back up there. And I'm going to quickly pan over and see that is a near full HP top lane turret. It can die here, but is going to be close. It looks like they will be able to get it. That Triforce helping out the split pushing right here is going to be something, but when you're against a Soul Point, an Infernal Soul Point against Syndra Jinx, not good.
Oh, Helicon with the stopwatch there. Parademon able to dash back with a Nimbus strike to flash forward, but we're getting an engage in the bot lane. Viking has to burn a couple summoners to try and get away, but Xantroid is an angry troll, and the shutdown goes over to Detect. Overlord Gaming now forced to run, but rooted up, shoot it down. Double kill going over to the FireFlies AD carry.
Nicely done. Parademon managed to escape, trading flashes and getting Helicon's ultimate, surviving on basically 0 HP, but that is enough, managing to get away, and it will just be an attempted Rift Herald trade by Paragon 6. But already lost First Blood Tower, and Detect getting at least 1,500 gold influx off of that play is going to be very important, because now Detect has more gold than Viking.
Yeah, and we're actually reaching gold parity across the board here. Whilst the Drakes definitely go in favour of Paragon 6, the towers firmly in FireFlies' favour, as P6 are yet to pick up one. Blinking health bars across the map on those, but until the towers go down, you can't use that extra space on the mini-map to build yourself some vision and deny your opponents opportunities.
Oh, Middlecourt, I stopped looking because I thought it was just a done deal, but they were starting the Rift Herald for Paragon 6, but the Baron actually spawned before they could secure it by the looks of it, so not even able to get that counterattack and investing time, that's going to be even worse. We're getting into a very open map. Look at it. People are starting to get spread out, and that means Incisor and Parademon are going to get worse and worse to deal with for every second that goes on now.
Yeah, we talked about in the champ set FireFlies wanting to play this sort of 1-3-1 composition almost with these sideline threats from the Fizz and this Camille, and we're slowly getting to the point where there isn't really anyone on Paragon 6 that can properly deal with them. Helicon burnt their stopwatch to immune the Fizz ultimate, the Chum the Waters earlier. That's not going to be available for a little bit now until that Zhonya's comes down. Gang Daddy looking to make a play in the mid lane, but just going to be dissuaded there as Xantro throws up the ice pillar. That's not really looking very icy, but that'll do.
Need to see some filthy pillars this game, actually, if we want to get Viking or Helicon going down in these team fights, because when your Camille and the Fizz aren't accelerated as much as they otherwise could have been, getting Jinx or getting Syndra in an isolated position is going to be the most important part, because it sets up for Detect, it sets up for Makuti, and that's where you get the extra compensation damage that you otherwise are lacking.
Yeah. We do see here Viking not going to be lacking for damage as he's picked up this Phantom Dancer, but importantly, I think Detect is going to be fairly close at getting something at least equal in terms of power level. Maybe not a completed item, but does have that Sheen and the Last Whisper in inventory, so no slouch on this Xayah at all. And with the Drake spawning in a minute and a half's time, you're going to need to be ready to fight for that one.
Ready to fight for it, and for me, the most important part is looking at what itemization can get finished before then. Significant ones that could get done. Potentially this Fizz getting the full Zhonya's, that would be a very important one in the fight. Camille actually just hard pushing the side lane. They have the TP advantage, but Mikey or Miss will have theirs in time. So the real question for FireFlies is how do they want to approach this one? They've got the Vision Prio, they've got the Prio on the map, and it looks like they're just going to keep the pedal down as opposed to looking for a reset.
Well, I mean, they've already got all the vision set up around this bottom side river. And I mean, if you're Paragon 6, you don't need to check blindly here, as Gant Daddy is checking blindly into Xantroid. Doesn't quite connect on the knock-up.
That was great.
But you don't need to go too far.
No.
And whilst they are starting to clear out the vision, and they could do so relatively safely because they're moving as a 4-person unit, FireFlies definitely can look to respond to this one if someone oversteps. You just need one of these Dark Bindings to land, and then all of a sudden it becomes very, very rough. Incisor is TPing their way down, and so the collapse could come out here. The jump in from Gank Daddy means a lot of damage going down onto Incisor and Parademon, but it's a shutdown onto the Paragon 6 junglers. They're taken out of the fight. There goes the Super Mega Death Rocket. Not quite enough. Blinking health bars for FireFlies, but crucially, no one has gone down just yet. Infernal Drake is on the Rift. They're looking to contest it as Makuti is taking single-digit HP almost. Incisor is looking for a flank, but they are very low as well. You could be getting yourself caught between a rock and a hard place as Xantroid is getting kited out. And it doesn't feel like FireFlies have got the range to play with what Paragon 6 are looking to do. Incisor is one auto attack from going down, and the Drake is being started up from FireFlies, but here comes the response from Paragon 6. Like you almost does get rooted up as the flashball for Helicon gets
my!
immediately. What the hell was that, Helicon?
They soared through that team fight, getting 3 people instantly trading their own life, but I'm putting a big worth in chat. Getting 4 for 1, plus the Infernal Soul. Helicon, I think you just won your team the series.
Maybe. Gold is still deadly even, but that Infernal Soul is going to be so big. And Helicon didn't look great in game 1 on the LeBlanc. Got a couple of kills, but then fell down massively to Demon's Graves. The shockwaves in game 2 from the Orianna were immense, and that flash forward Scatter the Weak picked up that Infernal Soul and is gonna grab them the Baron to boot. TP into the pit just to make sure it is golden. But Paragon 6, without even taking a tower yet, have got themselves 2 massive buffs.
So impressively played around that team fight, and you could see that it started off so close back and forth. The blinking health bars were insane, and it was really important that FireFlies did not lose a member, because if you lose one, Viking pops off, everybody dies. The fact they were able to navigate that fight so narrowly and manage to escape with Incisor running around to mid lane, getting the prio for them, looping back around, it just set up perfectly for Helicon, but everything up until that point looked like it was a brilliantly executed fight for FireFlies.
Yeah, but now you can start to take down all this standing gold and really build that advantage out for yourselves. It's going to be falling soon, as will top lane Incisor. So we called out a little bit here. Able to hookshot wall dive away. And now Vikings at that point on the Jinx where they can just start to go forward. 2.5 items completed. Mid lane Inner's going to be short to follow as well. And Paragon 6 are really turning on the burners.
Flash here on Viking is available. Zhonya's now available for Helicon. The 2 priority targets are so difficult to access, and with it pushed up this far, it looks like it's just resort to map play. Demon has been non-stop pushing the side lane just to try and draw pressure, doing something to get the team going. The best thing they can hope for is finding a reset here and maybe forcing onto the top lane, but it looks like FireFlies aren't going to opt for it. They're actually going to try and attack the volley bear instead.
Yeah, and I mean, what can you do against this group? You're finding it down 4-5 structures in the last minute. They can go back. They have got loads of gold in their inventories, can spend that up. And the power level that FireFlies are going to have to deal with if they want to come back into this series, if they want to stop the reverse sweep from Paragon 6 from playing out, pretty immense.
And when it comes to key members, it does need to be Demon getting something on a side lane. It needs to be the perfect pick onto Viking, because while they are tanky with the Immortal Shield Bow, they have the Brom to give them Guardian and Resistances. If you get the perfect Fizz ultimate and then kill the other members while they're kiting away, that's your best chance. I know it's very idealistic, especially when Brom can just eat up that Fizz ult with the shield, but when you're playing against the Baron, when you're playing against an Infernal Soul, hyper-fed Syndra Jinx, you really do need to be idealistic if you're going to take the game.
Well, but the thing as well is trying to fight out against the other members of Paragon 6, if you get that hypothetical assassination, it's double stacks completely for Gank, Daddy, and Mikey will miss. Like, this Volibear and Jarvan, they're not going to be falling down in 1, 2, or 3 rotations of your spells. It's going to take a concerted effort from multiple members on FireFlies if they want to take them out. Baron has fallen off, which means this push is a little bit less easy for Paragon 6. But look at the top lane. Volibear is just having a fine time at shoving that one in. And there's no real way for FireFlies to respond. Getting caught out on the side here. Demon forced to playful Trickster away. Incisor is 1v1ing the Volibear on the top side, but they're at a 2-level disadvantage. It's looking so rough for the red side team.
And trading the flash for Fizz on the Jarvan ult is very good news for Gank Daddy, because that, oh my god,
that was so much damage onto Makuti. Are going to be able to get themselves out as Detective's going forward, pulls the feathers back. Doesn't root anyone down though. But again, you're burning tools on FireFlies so easily. That's a flash gun from Paragon, and that's an ult gun from Detect, the heal as well. And now because Makuti is forced to reset, that means that you could clear out this jungle vision, and you can take this bot side tower. It's been very disciplined from Paragon 6 in the past few minutes, as they've gotten this lead, and they are snowballing it effectively.
Encouraging stuff right here. The sum of their parts being an terrifying force to reckon with right here, and respectful right there. Not going to go for greedy recalls. And when you are this far ahead, as long as you play respectfully, it's so difficult to lose a game from this kind of state. Because while it is a relatively negligible gold lead at this point, the fact that you have the Infernal Soul is just so many artificial stats that you are just getting for being there. Jinx, currently 275 AD. Syndra, 314 AP. If you look at the counterparts on the other side, Xayah is down a good 50 AD on their opponent, and Fizz is on a similar, about, give or take, waiting to see after this base. Okay, 80 AP they're down on their opponent. These are massive numbers when you're at this point in the game, and it is all down to single-digit health bars. Considering, with this Elder about to spawn, single digits make a lot of difference.
Single items as well. Stopwatch picked up for Viking. So even if you do get that Dream engaged onto the Jinx, she could just go golden for 2.5 seconds, and there's nothing much that you can do. Big stun landing onto Makuti, who's taken down to 40% HP. Xandroid jumped onto as well, as the health bars really haven't been effective too much for Paragon 6, but they're already forcing resets. Demon is on the wrong side of the map. The blue side team just looking to start up this Elder Drake, try and bait Fireflies in, try and force the fight.
Xandroid has flash, they have smite. They've got to look for a Miracle Steal right here, but they're losing HP fast.
Yeah, they're just going to be going down before they even get the chance, while able to flash out over the wall, so we'll be regenerating a little bit there. And now it lies down on Poro Demon. Does get the fish onto Viking, but they just go golden like we talked about. And Poro Demon just goes down like we talked about. There's no real way for Fireflies to get in now, unless Xandroid wants to be a hero. Heroes die, though. Legends don't. Viking picks up the kill. Elder Drake buff secured for Paragon 6. And I don't think there is much that Fireflies can do to stop them from winning this series.
That'll be all she wrote, walking down mid right here. 3 members up. They don't have Baron minions. You could attempt a wave clear, and you have to. You have to invest everything into stopping these minions, because otherwise the game is out of your hands, the series is out of your hands, and it looks like Fireflies can't walk up to it. They can't get through the wall that is Paragon 6.
Well, Detect has 3 items now on the Xayah. Has to go off, has to go sicko mode, but it's not going to happen. Paragon 6 complete the reverse sweep and take down Fireflies 2-1.
In a pivotal game, a pivotal series, when you're 5th and 6th, beating the opposition is what matters. Equalizing their scores overall now means that when it comes down to later head-to-heads, when it comes to tiebreakers, Paragon 6 are going to be able to pat themselves on the back for this performance today.
It was absolutely incredible the way they turned it around from that Game 1 performance, which was lackluster in a lot of areas. That Game 2 was oh so clean, and then finally this one just played out even cleaner. I wanna do commiserations. I want to give props to Fireflies, because it felt like they were able to generate leads, particularly for Incisor in this top lane. Had a brilliant performance this entire series, I feel, but ultimately wasn't enough to deal with Gank Daddy and the gang once they got online.
As soon as this Jarvan started to really go to the side lanes and get stuff done, it was absolutely disgusting, and I feel like there's always people to commend, but you can realistically commend most members, if not all, of the Paragon 6 roster. The fact that bot lane was winning every single game, regardless of the result, was so significant, because it just meant that no matter how it played out, the tempo was always in your favor. You always had the option to rotate to objectives.
Yeah, and we are going to be speaking to a member of that bot lane right now, as we have Hobo Lord Gaming, the victorious support from Paragon 6, will be joining us for the post-game interview. All right, Hobo Lord, how are you doing, man?
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, it's gotta feel good to win a sort of series like that. Obviously, that is going to be your first series win of the split. How does it feel to finally get a W on the board?
I have to say, it's not only the first series this split, it's the first series that Paragon has ever won.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That's significant. That is.
It feels, it's such a good mood. It's great. Yeah, it's, oh my god.
Well done. Very well done. A clean performance from the team in those second 2 games. And I suppose kicking off the Q&A, What changed between the first and the second game? Because you looked like a different beast as a team coming into game 2.
So first game, after we lost it, we realized what we did wrong. We wanted to control like the river and stuff and the objectives in general, not for the team Fireflies to be there first. And our coach told us that. He hammered it into us between the games. And yeah, shout out to Sash, really helped us out there. But after we started controlling those objectives, it felt so different. We were playing into our team comp correctly.
Yeah, and I noticed that you actually swapped out to the Braum for those 2 victories, as opposed to the Thresh, which you piloted in game 1. And it felt like part of that shift was enabling Viking a little bit more on the AD carry role, not playing the Ashe, not playing something a little bit more supportive on the Vayne, and then on the Jinx this game. Was that sort of a conscious decision that you made as a team? Okay, we're going to be trying to give a few more resources to this player?
So we thought that maybe we should just leave it to Viking to carry, because we just wanted to have kind of like a front-to-back team comp. So we thought, we'll just put like a ward and bot lane. Thresh didn't quite work out properly because I prefer to roam with him, so it's not working out with Viking. So we just pulled out the Braum because it's quite safe with him.
It worked very well in both of those games, keeping them alive. We were talking about a lot in the commentary for the game 3 of realistically it was your 2 synergy that was winning all of these bot lanes, and if you had done anything wrong on this Braum, when you're playing against a Camille and a Fizz with a Jinx, you don't get many options to misstep there. Going into that third game, I would say it definitely felt very close for a lot of the early to mid game. Who was like doing the shot calling kind of stuff? Where was it? Was it all on Gank Daddy? Because they were very proactive in every single game.
Yeah, I mean, early game he was the one making the shot calls. We would sit back and just hear him say, "I'm looking here. I'm looking here." Literally like 15 seconds between, you'll say, "I'm looking at this lane." He'll say, "I'm looking bot." 10 seconds later, "I'm looking top."
He did feel all over the map at some points. I've got a little stat in the game 2. So Gank Daddy went 9-2-19, which is a total of 28 kill participation in a game where your team got 29 kills. So I think it was a really, really strong performance from them, especially in that game too. Is there something about like having a jungler that is willing to play this more supportive, more enabling style? Something like this Javan? How does that feel to play with as a support?
Well, I mean, because I played with Young Daddy for so long. We knew each other before VL. We already had like a bond, so I know how he plays and he knows how I play. And we started slowly complementing each other's play styles. So my supports fit really well with his junglers. And that's why I roam a lot, actually.
And I want to bring it back down to, for me, the most important part about this. You say that this is your first victory as a team, first series win. When you're heading forward into future weeks, do you feel like this is your turning your luck? Because the form that you came in was decisive.
We before these games we had minor communication problems, but we've been playing a lot together. We got those sorted out. First game was still a little bit awkward on the communication, but second and third game we were on top of that. I don't think the chat or call was ever quiet.
No, well, and I think closing out that final game, it felt so decisive. It felt like you guys were really on the same page. So I guess that's the communication that you're talking about really coming through and being apparent on the stream, because you just were operating like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I mean, we had someone make a shot call, then someone would like answer back with that shot call to confirm it, and then the person would answer back again. So we'd hear the shot call 3 times and then go in on it.
Well, that's great. Great communication makes great teams, and it has been absolutely brilliant talking to you, Hobo Lord. Congratulations on this win, and I hope that you guys celebrate it in style, because first win for a team is always a big one.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me here. It was fun. It was a good series as well. Props to FireFlies.
Yeah, it was
difficult bot lane to deal with.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. Well, thank you for coming on for the interview. It has been an absolute pleasure, dude.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I'll maybe see you another time.
Let's hope so.
All right, see you.
That was cool. I like that.
That was a great series. That was a great series.
Genuinely a really, really entertaining series. And I like watching series where you can like sort of see the growth of a team throughout it. And I think that was like so apparent with the way that Paragon 6 were playing.
And a lot of what Hobo was going on about there with the team play and the coordination, most importantly, you could see on screen that systematic coordination working about the fact that in Game 2, when we had Parademon on that Echo, and they got chain ganked 3 times in a row by the Oriana Java duo, the exact same way every time, you can see what they were talking about in the interview there, that it was just such a step up from the team that it realistically did not look like the same team from Game 1.
Absolutely ridiculous. And obviously commiserations going out to FireFlies. They fought hard and they definitely didn't roll over, but it felt like, especially in that sort of Game 3, they just got outclassed a little bit. But I'm really excited to see what both these teams are going to do in the future, because I would see some decent level of play here.
When you consider that now these scoreboards are basically evened up between them, I think it's almost exactly the same for game score as well. I can expect both of these teams, with these car performances, fighting up for that 4th spot and try and punch above their pay grade, because if they can get to that kind of point, I'm not 100% on the format, but dear lord, I hope we get another matchup between these two teams, because it would be a grudge match of the ages.
Oh, absolutely. It was a real pleasure to watch them to play as well, though. Melvin Izzle, I think, unfortunately, this is going to be doing it for this evening, dude. It has been an absolute pleasure to cast this series alongside you, mate.
It was very fun. Thank you all for having us. As per usual, was a lovely set of games. And congratulations to Paragon 6, commiserations to FireFlies. Good play overall. Thank you all for the great show.
Yeah, thank you, British Blaze, for producing. You're amazing. We will see you sometime in the future.